Hello students, welcome to Read World. This is Vasmi ma'am. This is Narayani ma'am. In this session, we are going to discussing about the CBSE Class 9 Biology syllabus. In CBSE Class 9, it includes total 6 chapters. First 3 chapters will be discussed by Vasmi ma'am and next 3 chapters will be discussed by Narayani ma'am. So children, look here. In chapter 1, it is the cell, the fundamental unit of life. In this chapter, you have to focus mainly upon the cell organelles, its structure, diagrams, and along with this, you also need to focus its functions. Next, coming towards the chapter 2, it is tissues, children. In these tissues, you need to study about the plant tissues as well as animal tissues, and as well as you also need to focus upon its structure and location. Coming towards the chapter 3, it is diversity in living world. Here you have to focus mainly on the classifications. You need to focus on plant kingdom classification as well as animal kingdom classification. Coming to the 4th chapter, why do we fall ill? In this chapter, we are going to discuss about the various types of diseases and its preventive measures and importance of immunity. Next, coming to the next chapter, natural resources. In this chapter, we are going to study about the various natural resources like air, water, and soil. And in this chapter, we discuss about the soil conservative methods also in detail. Next, coming to the last chapter is improvement in food resources. In this chapter, we are going to discussing about the methods of agriculture and various fertilizers in use of agriculture and importantly the branch of agriculture and well as well. Yes. So students, here it is given the weightage according to the chapter wise. So if we look into the first chapter, the fundamental unit of life, here approximately we are going to cover 6 to 8 marks, children. So in this particular chapter, the fundamental unit of life, we are going to get 6 to 8 marks and it includes 25 to 30% of weightage. In the chapter tissues, you are going to get approximately 5 to 7 marks and the weightage is 20 to 25%. And the diversity in the living world, here you are going to cover approximately 4 to 5 marks, children, and the weightage includes 15 to 20%. Next chapter, why do we fall ill? In this chapter, we are expected marks from this chapter is 45 marks and the total weightage of this chapters is 15 to 20%. Next chapter, natural resources. The expected marks from this chapter is 3 to 4 marks and the weightage is covered by this chapter is 10 to 15%. And coming to the last chapter, improvement in food resources, we are going to get the marks from here is 3 to 4 marks and the weightage covered by this chapter is 10 to 15%. So next, if we see all the 6 chapters, the major weightage includes the chapter 1, that is children, the fundamental unit of life. So please have a focus on this first chapter as it includes major weightage which is going to contain 25 to 30%. And children, based on your understanding, we are channelizing the concepts chapter wise. Let's see this now. So children, look here, it is a chapter 1, cell the fundamental unit of life. So here you need to cover some important concepts like structure and functions of cell organelles. Along with these, you need to understand the diagrams of mitochondria, Golgi apparatus and ribosomes. And you also need to study the differences between prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. And next, you need to understand in brief the concepts like plasma membrane, nucleus, cytoplasm and vacuoles. Next, here is one more important and interesting concept, that is osmosis and diffusion. So children, keeping these concepts in your mind, here are the previous year questions. That is nothing but these are the questions which are repeated number of times in your examination. So let's have a look on this. Yes. So children, you need to focus on the define the osmosis and diffusion. So here you need to write the definition of the osmosis and diffusion. It includes 1 mark. And next 3 marks question is differences between plant and animal cells. Next, coming towards the 5 marks questions, here you need to explain about the cell organelle, its structure as well as its functions along with the neat labeling diagram. So next it includes yes chapter 2, that is tissues.
In this chapter tissues, we are going to discussing about the types of tissues in both plants and also animals. Plant tissues are basically divided into two types. One is meristematic tissue, next one is permanent tissue.
And children, not only plant tissues, you also need to focus upon the animal tissues. Children, in the animal tissues, you are going to learn about 4 different types of tissues like epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue and nervous tissue. Along with these, learn the functions and examples of each tissue.
Based on previous year question trends, we are categorized that the mostly common questions are coming from the examination front. See, they are coming 2 marks questions, 3 marks questions, 5 marks questions. Mostly 2 marks questions, they are asking about the differences questions like differences between parenchyma and parenchyma. Next, 3 marks questions like they are going to ask functions of the xylem and phloem. Next, 5 marks question they are asking about the muscle tissue. If required, we have to draw the diagrams also for these questions.
So children, next, it also includes the 5 marks question. Yes, see here children, for 5 marks, you are getting the structure of a muscle tissue. It means here you need to write in brief about the types of muscle tissues, its diagrams as well as its functions. Yes. Next, coming towards the chapter 3, that is diversity in the living world. Here you need to learn about the 5 kingdom classification. So here children, you are going to learn about plant kingdom classification as well as animal kingdom classification. So the important concept you have to keep in your mind is 5 kingdom classification, which includes some important characters like Monera, Protista, fungi, plantae, animalia. Along with these, you also need to focus on the animal kingdom classification, which includes differences between chordates versus non-chordates. If we look into the previous year question trend, 1 mark question is repeatedly asked on the question like, which kingdom does amoeba belongs to? So what is amoeba? It is a unicellular organism, right? So this question is asked from the animal kingdom classification. Next, if we look into the 3 marks type of question, here majorly the repeated question is differences between gymnosperms and angiosperms. Next, 5 marks question includes explain the basis of classification. So children, in this overall chapter, major questions you are going to get based on the kingdoms of classification, that may be either plant kingdom classification or animal kingdom classification.
Yes. Next chapter is 4th chapter, why do we fall ill? In this chapter, we are going to cover the concepts of health versus diseases. The day-to-day life health issues like what are infectious diseases and what are non-infectious diseases we are going to cover here. And their modes of transmission and its preventive measures we are detailedly discussed in this chapter. Next, based on previous year question trends, we are going to have 2 marks question, 3 marks question, 5 marks question. 2 marks questions mostly they are asked in all chapters also like differences types of questions like differences between infectious, non-infectious diseases. Next, 3 marks questions like how does vaccination works, and coming to the last one, 5 marks question, they ask about any diseases and you have to write the causes, symptoms and its preventive measures. Next chapter.
Yes. Chapter 4, that is why do we fall ill.
Next. Yes. Coming to the next chapter, natural resources. In this chapter, we are going to cover the biogeochemical cycles. What are biogeochemical cycles? They are water cycle, carbon cycle, oxygen cycle, nitrogen cycle. These cycles we call it as biogeochemical cycles. In this chapter, we are going to discussing about the pollutions like what is air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution and its effects. We detailedly study about in this chapter. Next, and we are going to discuss about mainly the stability of management of natural resources. Okay. Next, based on previous year question trends, they are going to ask 1 mark question here, 3 marks question and 5 marks question here. So one more question is they will go to us directly, which
Yes.
is
Ma'am, yes. In the 1 mark question, we can observe direct definition like what is greenhouse effect. If you give a little definition about this 1 mark, it will be enough and you are going to get directly 1 mark, children. And next, if we look into the 3 marks type of question, here he is asking about to explain the nitrogen cycle with a diagram. So children, as ma'am said, in this introduction itself, the concepts to cover biogeochemical cycles like water, carbon, oxygen and nitrogen. So children, please have a look on this and diagrams as well. Yes ma'am, explain this 5 marks question.
next 5 marks question. They are going to have conservative methods, how to conserve the soil, how to conserve the water, and how to conserve the air with the to get what are the effects caused by the pollution and all. What are preventive methods to take to control to conserve these natural resources. Next, coming to the last chapter, improvement in food resources. In this chapter, we are going to cover the concepts of methods of agriculture mainly and the branch of agriculture animal husbandry. It is the most important to meet our day-to-day life needs, like we get milk, meat from the animal husbandry products. Next, coming to the in this chapter, we are going to study about the crop production, its management. Next, stable agricultural practices. There are 7 agricultural practices we are going to study in detail in this chapter. Next, based on previous year question friends, they are going to ask 1 mark type of questions here, 3 marks type of questions here, and 5 marks type of questions here. 1 mark is based on directly asking what is organic farming, what is organic farming, like this type of questions they are going there, they are asking. Next, 3 marks questions. Next, 3 marks question have to write the functions and uses of fertilizers in the crop production. Next, coming to the last question, 5 marks question. They are going asking explain the hybridization in crop production, like this type of questions they are going to
So
ask.
children, this is very important. Explain hybridization in crop improvement, where you are going to learn in the upcoming sessions. Yes ma'am. So children, here it is given the sample paper analysis and as well as the marks distribution from each section. So children, it includes completely 5 sections. Section A, section B, section C, D and E. If we look into the first section, it is going to have objective type of questions, children. So focus here children, and please get ready with your books and pen as well. So it is section A. It includes objective type of questions that may be either multiple choice questions, fill in the blanks, or else it may be true or false. So the maximum number of questions we are going to get here is that may be either 4 to 5 questions, and each question is going to carry 1 mark. So if you look into the first section, total marks you are going to score is 4 to 5 marks, children. So these are objective type of questions. What children? These are objective type of questions. And next, if you see the section B, these are very short answer type questions, not short answers, very short answer type of questions. So here you are going to get number of questions that may be either 3 or 4 questions you are going to get approximately, and each question is going to carry 2 marks. So finally, total marks you are going to get in section B is 6 to 8 marks, children. And next, if you look into the section C, that is short answer type of questions, here you are going to get approximately 2 to 3 types of questions, 2 to 3 number of questions, and each question is going to carry 3 marks. So if you look, the total marks you are going to score is 6 to 9 marks, children. And if you see here long answer type of questions, here mostly 1 or 2 questions will be there. You can choose either of it from that. And next, you are going to get 5 marks for each question, and total marks you are going to score in section D is 5 to 10 marks, children. If it is an internal choice in between two, you can get only 5 marks. If they are asking to score both the questions, then you will get 10 marks. So next one is the last section, section E. It is a very some complex, but if you are clear with the concept, easily you can attempt the answers. So it is case-based questions, children. Here you need to apply your thinking very well, and here you will get 1 to 2 marks. Here also you are going to you can attempt any one question either of it. So you can score 4 to 5 marks, children. As well as if you look into the total number of marks in the section E, you will score 4 to 10 marks. So clear children. So total you are going to have 5 sections, section A, B, C, D and E, and here it is a list. So please you can take a screenshot of it.
And blueprint analysis is very important, children, to study clear about the subject. Okay. Next, in section
Now, here it is a sample paper analysis based on the previous paper. So let's have a look on it, children.
S. In section A, there is going to mostly ask the objective type of questions like multiple choice questions, or else fill in the blanks, or else true or false questions, or match the following questions. Like for example, each has only 1 mark. Okay. Next, like for example, which organ is known as photosynthesis? You all know, right, children? Which organ we call as photosynthesis? Yes, it is mitochondria. Okay. These type of questions asked in the section A. Next, coming to the section B. Wait, I'll do it. And make the pen.
Okay. Yes. Okay, children. Section A is completed. Moving towards section B. Here you are going to get very short answer type of questions. So children, please have a look here. So the question, whatever you are attempting in section 2, it should include the explanation only in 2 to 3 sentences. If you write these answers in 2 to 3 sentences, it is more than enough. So here is an exemplar question. What are the differences between plant and animal cells? So plant cells have the cell wall, while animal cells do not. Okay. And next, plant cells contain the chloroplast, while animal cells do not. So if you attempt this question in 2 to 3 sentences, that will be enough.
Next, coming to the section C, they are short answer type questions. Each carries 3 marks. Okay, Nana? Next, these questions need brief explanation with examples if required. Sometimes you have to draw diagrams also for in these questions. See, for example, here they are asked the describe the different types of plant tissues. Plant tissues are of 2 types. One is meristematic tissue. Next one is permanent tissue. Meristematic tissue mean which regions it found meristematic tissue? In growing regions like roots and shoots. Next, permanent tissue. Permanent tissue further classified into 2 types. One is simple tissue. Next one is complex tissue. Simple tissue further classified into parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. And complex tissues are further classified into xylem and phloem. In this question, for this question, we have to require to draw diagrams also. Just have a look.
These are the diagrams.
These are the diagrams of simple tissues and complex tissues. Next, section
Yes, children, coming towards the section D, which includes 5 marks. Here you are going to have the internal choice. See here, long answer type of questions. These are long answer type of questions. Here the example question is, explain the structure and function of mitochondria with a diagram. So first you need to write in brief, in short about the mitochondria cell organelle, as well as you need to mention its functions. You need to write approximately 4 to 5 functions, it will be enough. And next, you also need to draw a well-labeled diagram. So children, please focus on the labeling also, not only the diagrammatic part, as well as the things, whatever you are drawing, it should be labeled clearly. Here and often diagrams also is required.
Next, section E. You know, Nana, in section E, they are going to ask case-based questions. For to analyze these questions, you have to well enough to read the concept. The concept should be in your fingertips. Then you can answer this type of questions. For example, the man will be explain about this example.
Children, you have to understand the concept in a crystal clear manner. Okay, the concept based questions are not only going to be asked in this diagrammatic pattern, but also sometimes the concept based questions, the case based questions are going to be in a diagrammatic form also. The case based questions may be either diagram oriented or else they may be included in this paragraph format. So see here, a farmer notices that his crop is showing stunted growth. After consulting an expert, he is advised to check for nitrogen deficiency. So based on this statement, here it is a 2 types of questions are given. Ma'am, excuse me. So here, what is the role of nitrogen in plant growth? And how can nitrogen deficiency be treated in crops? So here the deficiency is the plant is showing stunted growth. It means the answer will be nitrogen is essential for making proteins and chlorophyll which promotes the plant growth. Okay, this is going to form the answer for this first question. Role of nitrogen in plant growth is what children do? Make the proteins as well as chlorophyll and to promote the plant growth. So next question is, how can nitrogen deficiency be treated in crops? It can be treated by using nitrogen fertilizers like urea, ammonia and nitrate, and next planting nitrogen fixing crops like legumes. So this is the way how you have to attend the case based questions.
Children, like us only, plants also require nutrients. Likewise, the question is applicable. Okay. Next, internal choice for section E. Internal choice is there for section C and E. They are given two questions for you. You have to write any one.
Okay. It means this is 3 marks question and
It is 5
to 4 marks
4 marks question.
This includes case based questions,
Yes.
right? Yes.
Mostly this section C, section E is mostly case based questions only. They
Yes.
Okay.
So children, interesting thing coming towards the marking scheme.
Yes.
Just a minute, children. Yes, coming towards the marking scheme, how the examiners are going to allot the marks for you. So if you are clear with these concepts, keeping these concepts in your mind, if you attend the examination paper, you can score more marks in science. Okay, see here, direct answers. For example, definition based. Okay, what is organic farming? Simple. If you give a clear definition for that, you can score 1 mark easily. Okay. Next, coming towards the diagram based answers. So here, after drawing the diagram, if you label the parts whatever you have drawn, you can score full marks, children. And next, coming towards the case based and competency based questions. Here, marks are going to be allotted for the logical explanation, reasoning, and clarity. So, children, what you will do in the case study questions? First of all, you will read the paragraph or you will read the concept, whatever it is given in your paper, right? So, after reading the concept, your explanation should be crystal clear. Your explanation should include some logical thinking as well as the explanation also should be in a clear. Okay. So, keeping these concepts in your mind, you can score full marks here. Yes.
Okay, children.
Children, hope this session is
Very
useful
useful
to
to
you.
you.
Yes. Do like, share, and subscribe to Meet Word. Thank you.